and good morning from London King's Cross. This is my 10:03 LNER Azuma service to Leeds, calling at Peterborough, Doncaster, Wakefield Westgate and Leeds, formed of 9 carriages. The set is 801209. The doors have not locked just yet, but I'm waiting until they do so. One day I'll give the Avanti West Coast sit wherever you want.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day I'll be able to try the Avanti West Coast Voyager from London Euston to Coventry for the infamous restaurant known as Binley Mega Chippy. The train will then continue to Birmingham International and Birmingham New Street. Not this one, but the Voyager. Train journey today is going to be 2 hours 15 minutes approximately. Train doors will close up to 30 seconds prior to departure. With LNER, you should reserve a seat up to 5 minutes prior to departure, and seat reservations on all LNER services are mandatory. Due to the change of the type of train used, there are no seat reservations on this service. King's Cross is also served by the Circle, Hammersmith and City. Sorry. Just shouting that the doors are about to close. I think I'll go back to my seat once the doors are closed. Going back to my seat for the next 2 hours 15 minutes to Leeds. King's Cross is also served by the Circle, Hammersmith and City, Metropolitan, Northern, Piccadilly and Victoria lines, Thameslink and Great Northern, LNER, Lumo, Grand Central and Hull trains. Also served by East Midlands Railway, South Eastern High Speed, Thameslink and Eurostar to mainland Europe from St Pancras International, which is no longer than 5 minutes away from King's Cross by walking. Oh, I haven't looked at the first class menu yet. It's got dining menu. So this is a breakfast service.
Can I see all the tickets, please?
Give me a second, please. Just it should say that. Sorry, it's loading.
It's alright.
We're in the tunnel.
Hello, and welcome on board this LNER Azuma to
That's
Leeds.
it. Sorted, love, thank you.
Do you need to see my rail card as well, or?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, it's my rail card.
Sorted, love.
Call at
Thank you, love.
Peterborough, Doncaster, Wakefield Westgate and Leeds.
Sorted, love.
The next station will be Peterborough.
CCTV is in operation on this service
Drinks.
for your safety and security. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to our onboard team or text British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
It's a shame that only standard class passengers are allowed Prosecco.
Morning, would you like an extra drink?
Orange juice, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Some orange juice for today. Yeah, sometimes when travelling with LNER you'll have to be careful as they may change the type of train used, such as on this service that I'm travelling on today.
I saw some this morning.
The 0906 to York is still using an Intercity 225, but with 8 carriages as opposed to 9 due to a technical fault in one of the carriages. That was the 0906 from London King's Cross to York.
Any sugar, huh?
Finsbury Park, Piccadilly and Victoria lines and Thameslink and Great Northern services. Well, the drinks trolley may come as many times as possible throughout the train. Haringey, Great Northern only, as well as London Overground from Haringey Green Lanes. 803001, about to arrive into London King's Cross. Going to operate 10:45 to Edinburgh later on. 387-204, an ex-Gatwick Express fast freight is now operated by Great Northern. Hornsey, Great Northern only.
Also today we have bacon sandwiches, porridge, a variety of fresh ground coffees including lattes, cappuccinos, flat white smokers. We also have a selection of alcohol on today's journey. And breakfast deals are available at £5. Meal deals are available at £6. We also do have any 2 beer ciders for £6, 2 gin and tonics for £7, or 2 British bottles of wine for £8.
You obviously see it's alright, at least it doesn't have a misaligned window, unlike the or a missing window. Alexandra Palace, Great Northern only. Unlike the Lumo service I was travelling on last week towards Edinburgh, where I was allocated a seat with a missing window, I didn't have a neighbour, unlike the train back home where I had a neighbour and a better window view.
Please feel free to use the app on today's journey. There is no minimum spend, so please use the app or the free parking coach G on our journey through to Leeds this morning. Thank you.
We're now in a tunnel. We'll pass through multiple tunnels until Nebworth, then no tunnels, and then no tunnels. Last tunnel we'll see will be between Welwyn North and Nebworth. New Southgate, Thameslink and Great Northern. Then we won't get any more tunnels until between Peterborough and Grantham, as well as between Grantham and Newark Northgate, and also between Newark Northgate and Retford. After Retford, no tunnels. But we're not sure. Maybe. these trains, they're alright. They're not as good as the Class 390 or the Intercity 225. Class 390 I did on Wednesday to Birmingham, first class. Since it's changed from Virgin Trains to Avanti West Coast, I've only done it twice. First time was October 2020 to Stoke-on-Trent, to a place called Alton Towers, Oakley Park, Thameslink and Great Northern. And second time was this week on Wednesday to Birmingham. Train journey to Stoke-on-Trent wasn't standard, as my mum couldn't afford first. New Barnet, Thameslink and Great Northern. Tickets for today were booked 4 weeks in advance and were a total of £69.70, including railcard discount and also £8.35 of LNER perks that I had. Hadley Wood, Great Northern only. Or maybe I could do the Voyager between Watford Junction and Coventry. Either London Euston or Watford Junction to Coventry. Trains, they're tilting, they're not tilting like the 390s or the Voyagers. Potter's Bar, Thameslink and Great Northern. Departures from London Euston at 43 minutes past the hour. Odd number departures are for Blackpool North. Even numbered departures are for Edinburgh. All trains go to Preston via Birmingham New Street, calling at Milton Keynes Central, Coventry, Birmingham International, Birmingham New Street, Sandwell and Dudley, Wolverhampton, Crewe, Warrington Bank, Key, Wigan, North Western and Preston. One train for 2 hours to Blackpool North only, also one train for 2 hours to Edinburgh, calling at Lancaster, Oxenholme, Penrith, Carlisle, Haymarket and Edinburgh, with some trains also calling at Lockerbie. Oxenholme is served before 12 p.m, Penrith after 12 p.m. Brooklands Park, Great Northern only, overtaking a Moorgate to Welland Garden City, Great Northern service. Another LNER Azuma van. The Intercity 225s are currently being retired. Some of the carriages are in service with Transport for Wales between Holyhead and Cardiff Central via Chester, Wrexham General, Welham Green, Great Northern. As I was saying, Transport for Wales operate the Premier service with Class 67 locomotive, 4 Mark IV carriages and a Mark IV driving van trailer, with the aforementioned Mark IV driving van trailer and carriages from LNER. Holyhead to Cardiff Central via Chester, Wrexham General, Shrewsbury and Newport. As as well as via Hereford. Thankfully, there are now seatfrog upgrades with East Midlands Railway, but only on services between London, St Pancras and Sheffield or Nottingham. Those journeys I could do some point in the near future, maybe in September. Hatfield, Thameslink, and in August I plan on going to Amsterdam and staying there for a week or two. With my auntie, who used to live in Brighton until February 2020, just before. We're about to pass through Welwyn Garden City, served by Thameslink and Great Northern. Thameslink will always be here regardless of when I do a Thameslink journey, such as Peterborough to Horsham. Is the full LNER available?
Full, yeah, cheers.
Yes, but no beans.
Sauce? Yeah.
What sauces are there?
Tomato or brown sauce?
Tomato, please. Yeah.
Snow beans, yeah?
Yeah, no beans.
Okay, cheers, thanks a lot. You're okay to do it.
Oh, I need a coffee.
Will this breakfast be better than on the Vanty West Coast? We'll find out when it eventually comes. I think you only get a hot meal if you're travelling for at least 1 hour, such as with the Vanty West Coast, between Preston and Carlisle, or between Warrington, Bank Key and London Euston. With LNER, it's a journey such as that's Welwyn North, served by Thameslink and Great Northern. As I was saying, with LNER, you'll only get a hot meal on the journey, such as London King's Cross to York, or Leeds to Peterborough or Stevenage. Maybe Stevenage to Doncaster, Wakefield to Grantham, or Darlington to Newark Northgate. We're about to pass through Nebworth, served by Thameslink and Great Northern. Once again. Good thing that Avanti West Coast didn't offer baked beans on the Great British Breakfast. That's what they call it. This here is Nebworth, served by Thameslink and Great Northern. East Midlands Railway no longer serves Wakefield Westgate or Leeds. about to pass through Stevenage, which is served by Thameslink and Great Northern, LNER, Lumo and Hull trains. Doors will open on the left-hand side at all stations that we call out today on this journey. Peterborough, Platform 4, Doncaster, Platform 4. This is Stevenage, served by Thameslink and Great Northern, LNER, Lumo and Hull trains. I'll see you on the way back home, Stevenage. Doncaster, Platform 4, Wakefield Westgate, Platform 2 and Leeds, Platform 8. From previous experience, as well as this exact journey back in March. Also a bit of a bumpy ride as expected. The headrests are also adjustable on these trains. The only Class 80X family trains I've done are Lumo, which was last week, LNER today, and also GWR, but GWR's was back in March 2019 between London Paddington and Bristol Temple Meads. And there is a Lumo service from Edinburgh to London King's Cross, or Newcastle to London King's Cross. Hedgen, Thameslink and Great Northern, overtaking a Thameslink service bound for en route from Brighton to Cambridge, London King's Cross to Cambridge, or Peterborough to Horsham. What? And it's just... No, you don't. There is the Hedgen flyover on following routes at Thameslink, London King's Cross and Brighton to Cambridge. The former calls out more stations while the latter calls out less stations. And also all Great Northern Express services from London King's Cross to Cambridge, Ely and King's Lynn. I'd rather be with Great Northern between London and Cambridge than Greater Anglia, as Greater Anglia's trains between London, Liverpool Street and Cambridge take about an hour and 20. And use Class 720s that were designed by Boris Johnson, apparently. Designed by Grant Shapps, Boris Johnson and Prince Andrew, while Great Northern uses far superior Class 387s out of King's Cross. Arlesey, served by Thameslink and Great Northern, overtaking a Thameslink service en route from Horsham to Peterborough. Longest possible journey on Thameslink could be either Peterborough to Horsham or Brighton to Cambridge. Hopefully they'll extend the Cambridge to King's Cross service down to Ashford International via St Pancras, Blackfriars, London Bridge and Maidstone East. Even if Thameslink does introduce that service, then South Eastern High Speed will continue to be the superior way of travel between St Pancras and Ashford International, as well as the rest of Kent. Best way to get from St Pancras to London City Airport is South Eastern High Speed between St Pancras and Stratford International, then DLR all the way from Stratford International down to London City Airport. Biggleswade, once again served by Thameslink and Great Northern. A Peterborough to Horsham Thameslink service. Those Class 700 trains, they're alright, but I prefer the Class 387s that GWR, Great Northern, Gatwick Express and Heathrow Express use. Same with the Class 379s that Greater Anglia did use on West Anglia mainline services. I also enjoyed the Class 377/6 and 377/7 subclass that Southern use mostly on metro services in and out of London Bridge and Victoria, specifically between London Bridge and Caterham/Tattenham Corner, dividing and attaching at Purley. Welcome to Sandy, served by Thameslink and Great Northern. I'll see you next time, Sandy, maybe on the way home. Definitely on the way home. These seats also have a recline button. This feature is also available on the GWR Hull trains and TransPennine Express first class products. GWR used this on all of the Intercity services, such as London Paddington to Bristol Temple Meads, Cardiff Central and Oxford. However, first class is only advisable should your journey be 1 hour or longer. Limo is standard class only. Hull Trains uses the Class 802 on all of their services. TransPennine Express, however, Liverpool Lime Street to Newcastle, TransPennine Express also used the Class 802 on services between Newcastle and Edinburgh. During pre-pandemic, prior to March 2020, there used to be a through service between Liverpool Lime Birmingham Street and Edinburgh via Manchester, Victoria, Huddersfield, Leeds, York, Northallerton, Darlington, Durham, Chesterley Street and Newcastle. Longest possible journey on LNER non-stop is between London King's Cross and Wakefield Westgate, which is 2 hours. However, this only runs once a day. And the 0630 from Bradford Forster Square to London King's Cross. This here is St Neots, served by Thameslink and Great Northern. A Hull Trains Paragon service en route from Hull to London King's Cross. Some Hull trains that services may have 10 carriages during busier times. The better choice of travel between London and Cambridge is the Class 387s rather than the Tory designed Class 720s. What if Greater Anglia gave East Midlands Railway all of the Class 37 lines? Satisfying sound from one of Grand Central's Class 180s, known for breaking down. You're going nowhere. I mean, you'll be going nowhere. And we're tilting again. This menu is also available on LNER's website. with Avanti West Coast do not work. Passing through Huntingdon, served by Thameslink and Great Northern. As I was saying, e-tickets on Avanti West Coast do not work up until 20 minutes before your train leaves. This happened when I was in Birmingham, so in order for me to stay on the platforms at Birmingham New Street, I decided to buy a ticket for Birmingham International, which was £3.65 at £3.65, including railcard discount. Thameslink service en route from Peterborough to Horsham. Another one. As the journey time between Peterborough and Huntingdon is about 10-15 minutes. Last time I was on a Mark 4 set was in standard class back on 11th of May, back home from Leeds to London King's Cross. Sometimes the wheelchair spaces may be used for storing large items. This was the case last Wednesday, when I travelled with Limo to Edinburgh. When I was walking through the train, I saw the wheelchair space being used up by other people's large items, people's bags, which indicated how busy the service was. Standard class is more likely to be busier than first class, as not everyone can afford first class. Small items can be stored between the seats, underneath the seat in front, or in the overhead rack. Medium-sized bags stored between the seats or in the overhead luggage rack. Large bags and cases should be stored at the luggage racks at the end of each coach. For very large items, please speak to members of staff, and they'll help you out, likely. I think LNER should have one train per hour from London King's Cross to York and Lincoln, dividing and attaching at Newark Northgate. Service should call at Stevenage, Peterborough, Grantham and Newark Northgate, which is where the train would divide or attach. The front half of the train would call at Retford, Doncaster and York, while the other half would call at Lincoln only. That must have been a train from Bradford Forster Square to London King's Cross. If I had booked the 0903 LNER service from London King's Cross to Leeds, then I would have had the waffles for breakfast. Waffles is also available on the dish menu. Same with the toasted tea cake. Bacon roll is only available on the deli menu, apparently.
The breakfast morning with no beans? Yeah. There
Thank
you
you.
go. Right, cheers, thank you.
Hopefully this is better than on the Vati West Coast. I'll leave the tomato out like I did on Wednesday. After doing the Victoria line from Brixton, from Walthamstow Central to Brixton, as well as the Southern from Clapham Junction to Watford Junction, or vice versa, then I won't do any more journeys, so I can try and fulfil my glorious purpose of flying to Amsterdam in August.
Over here.
We will shortly be arriving at Peterborough.
How many do you have? Oh, okay. The special ones.
Change here for trains to March. If you're leaving us here, please make sure you take all your personal belongings with you. Thank you for travelling with LNER.
Well, that was quick. My breakfast took only 3 minutes to inhale, I'd say. That there is a Thameslink service awaiting departure for Horsham, calling at Huntingdon, St Neots, Sandy, Biggleswade, Arlesey, Hitchin, Stevenage, Finsbury Park, St Pancras International, Farringdon, City Thameslink, Blackfriars, London Bridge, East Croydon, Coulston South, Merstham, Redhill, Hawley, Gatwick Airport, Three Bridges, Crawley, Alfield, Littlehaven and Horsham. That there is the 10:50 LNER service to London King's Cross only. This is Peterborough, served by Thameslink and Great Northern Cross Country, East Midlands Railway, Greater Anglia and LNER.
Hello, and welcome on board this LNER Azuma to Leeds.
That train is calling at London King's Cross only. We are not leaving yet. Next train on platform 3 will be the 11:10 LNER service to London King's Cross only. As expected, it will be a 9-carriage train. I'd say the breakfast on this train was just as good as the breakfast on the Avanti West Coast. Both LNER and Avanti West Coast have bacon, eggs, sausage and tomato in the breakfast. LNER also offers hash browns and beans, while Avanti West Coast also have mushrooms and black pudding. This is the 10:52 service to Leeds, calling at Peterborough, Doncaster, Wakefield Westgate and Leeds.
Excuse me, sir. Thank you.
We are now ready to leave Peterborough.
Come back with hot drink in case you want some more. I'll take this. Thank you very much.
Calling at Doncaster, Wakefield Westgate and Leeds. Doncaster is our next and second stop. Peterborough was our first.
Hello, and welcome on board this LNER Azuma to Leeds. We will call at Doncaster, Wakefield Westgate and Leeds. The next station will be Doncaster.
CCTV is in operation on this service for your safety and security. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to our onboard team or text British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
Service today at Peterborough. This is your LNER service for Leeds, calling at Doncaster, Wakefield Westgate and Leeds. On today's journey, we do have catering available today. We have the food box manufacturers located today in Coach G.
Yes, I do have rubbish, but it's...
On sale today, we have bacon sandwiches, porridge, a wide variety of meal deals are available. Breakfast deals are priced at £5, meal deals are priced at £6. We also do have any two beers or ciders for £6, 2 gin and tonics for £7, also rich bottles of wine for £8. These items also can be purchased from our Let's Eat Up seat app by simply scanning the QR code in standard class accommodation. If you choose the Peterborough Coach G, we can only accept payment by credit card, debit card, Google Pay or Apple Pay on today's journey through to Leeds. If you just chose in first class accommodation, you'll receive a complimentary offer of breakfast on this morning's journey. Finally, myself and my train manager can assist you with your journey through to Leeds today. Then please do not hesitate and contact one of us. Thank you.
Speeding through the countryside as expected. We are tilting, we're not 390, we're not Pendolino or Voyager tilting, unlike on Avanti West Coast. Thankfully, we are no longer tilting. The speed limit for non-tilting trains on the West Coast Main Line is restricted to 110 miles per hour. On the Pendolinos and Voyagers, it is up to 125 miles per hour. Was today's journey worth it? Yes, despite the change of train used. Just wanted to give the dine menu a try. There's also roasted Scottish salmon offered on the lunch evening menu, as well as a cheese plate or a lemon and rhubarb meringue pie. Once again, the menu is also on LNER's website if you want to see for yourself.
That's it, Dave. We're done.
Good thing that outside coach M on the Azuma says seats 4 to 20, because 420 is once again a good number.
Did your reps arrive you there today?
Finished.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Then the man is going to collect other people's plates, those who had the full LNER, from coaches L and K. I think coach MC1 is the best seat in first class on the Intercity 225. Same with Just a journey.
The whole journey?
Yes. Another glass of orange juice. Just don't want it to spill everywhere. Because, London Euston to Glasgow Central. I don't know if I could survive that journey in standard class, let alone standard premium. Breakfast not so long ago. About 20 minutes ago. One wheelchair bathroom on this service, and that is in standard class towards the front of the train. This here is Grantham, served by East Midlands Railway, LNER and Hull Trains. Peterborough cross-country services between Birmingham New Street and Stansted Airport via Cambridge. Greater Anglia services to and from Ipswich via Ely and Bury St Edmunds. East Midlands Railway between Peterborough and Doncaster via Lincoln, as well as services between Norwich and Liverpool Lime Street via Ely, Grantham, Nottingham, Sheffield, Manchester Piccadilly, Warrington Central and Liverpool South Parkway for bus services to Liverpool John Lennon Airport. Another tunnel. Yes, I know, lots of tunnels on this journey today.
Just a nice passion in standard calculation. The left seat of the seat that will be available as far as Doncaster. Today's due to orders to come out in the afternoon. Please place it down and the left seat that seat now will be switched over to Doncaster. And the two front coach to your right available as far as Wakefield Westgate on our journey through to Leeds today. Thank you.
Let's Eat at Your Seat is now available on this service. plenty of amazing countryside views. Passing through Newark Northgate, served by East Midlands Railway and LNER. Then we have the junction just north of Newark Northgate, the last of its kind here in the UK where two railway lines intersect with each other. And that was it back there. Plenty of room underneath the seat in front. Another Azuma. That one was bound for London King's Cross. Peterborough. Those who got on in London are perfectly fine. No seat frog upgrade this time.
Oh yes, I was just miles away there. Not 5 feet, yeah.
There was Retford, served by LNER, Northern and Hull trains. Also be in Doncaster, which is served by Cross Country, East Midlands Railway, Greater actually Doncaster is served by Cross Country, East Midlands Railway, LNER, Northern, Trent Pennine Express, Grand Central, Hull trains and bus services to Doncaster Sheffield Airport. Leeds is served by Cross Country, LNER, Northern, Trans-Pennine Express and bus services to Leeds Bradford Airport. Most stations in the UK have an airport right next to them or close nearby. Stansted Airport, City Airport on the DLR, Gatwick Airport on the GWR, Gatwick Express, Southern and Thameslink, Heathrow Airport, 3 stations, Heathrow Central for Terminals 2 and 3, Heathrow Terminal 5 and Heathrow Terminal 4, all of which are served by the Piccadilly line, the Elizabeth line and Heathrow Express. Heathrow Terminal 4 is not served by the Heathrow Express. Luton Airport closest station is Luton Airport Parkway, served by East Midlands Railway and Thameslink. There's a bus link between Luton Airport Parkway station and Luton Airport itself. There's also a direct rail link between the two aforementioned Luton Airport Parkway and Luton Airport being built, providing easier access between Luton Airport and Luton Airport Parkway. Stansted Airport served by Greater Anglia, Cross Country and the Stansted Express on behalf of Greater Anglia. Stafford Airport, Greater Anglia. Manchester Airport, Northern, Transport for Wales and Trans-Pennine Express. Then you also have Edinburgh Airport on the Edinburgh Tram. Then you also have Bruce Cardiff International Airport, served by Transport for Wales that services between Cardiff Central and Bridgend via Barry. Bus links between train stations and airports. Doncaster Sheffield Airport, bus link between Doncaster and Doncaster Sheffield Airport, which is Doncaster is served by Cross Country, LNER, Northern, Trans-Pennine Express, East Midlands Railway, Grand Central and Hull trains. Also bus services from Leeds Bradford International Airport to Bradford Interchange and Leeds stations. The former is only served by Northern and Grand Central, while the latter is served by Cross Country, LNER, Northern and Transpennine Express. You also have Liverpool John Lennon Airport bus link to and from Liverpool South Parkway, which is served by Merseyrail, London North Western Railway, Transport for Wales, and East Midlands Railway. Norwich Airport. Nearest station is Norwich, served by East Midlands Railway and Greater Anglia. No bus link between the train station and the airport, but there are local buses, however. Teesside Airport. Closest station is Teesside Airport, served by Northern. Then you have Newcastle International Airport on the Tyne and Wear Metro. Glasgow Main International Airport. Closest station is Paisley Gilmore Street, served by ScotRail. However, there's also an express bus that operates between Glasgow Main International Airport and Glasgow Central. Between Glasgow International Airport and the city centre of Glasgow. There's also Glasgow Prestwick International Airport, served by ScotRail. There's a bus link between Prestwick Airport itself and the station named Prestwick International Airport, served only by ScotRail. There's two airports in Glasgow. There's the inferior Prestwick International
Shortly
Airport.
be arriving at Doncaster. Change here for trains to Peterborough, Sheffield and Grimsby Town.
Cleethorpes, Rotherham, Sheffield and Grimsby Town.
If you're leaving us here, please make sure you take all your personal belongings with you.
Hull train service from Hull to London King's Cross.
Thank you for travelling with LNER.
Two airports serving the Glasgow area. The inferior Prestwick and the superior Glasgow Main International Airport. The bigger airport in Glasgow I just refer to as Glasgow Main to avoid confusion with Prestwick. Oh, there's one of those Intercity 225 trains, locomotives, Class 91 locomotives. There's also bus links between Inverness Station and Inverness Airport, also between Dicey, spelled D-Y-C-E, Station and Aberdeen Airport. Inverness is served by LNER, one train per day only, ScotRail and Caledonian Sleeper. Dicey in Aberdeen is served only by ScotRail. There's also bus links to Bristol and Exeter airports, between Bristol Temple Meads and Bristol International Airport. Bristol Temple Meads is only served by Cross Country and GWR. Then bus link between Exeter Airport and Exeter St David's, which is served by Cross Country, GWR and South Western Railway. The door seals disengage whenever the train stops. Then when the train goes past 15 miles per hour, the aforementioned door seals disengage. The aforementioned door seals engage. (37421) operating a network rail train of Mark II carriages. We're just waiting for a train in the platform to move. Never mind, there's other people in the carriage, also waiting to leave the train.
I've only got a fitter that can do today. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but you know what couriers are like. I need to give him an address and a site and a contact name and number. Yeah, I mean we can kind of manually work it, so I could say, look, Shepherd's Bush. I could say Shepherd's Bush Tube Station.
Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, shall be
And
arriving
then-
at Doncaster,
but you-
just
you-
running a few minutes ahead of schedule. Just waiting at makeup platform at Doncaster.
Yeah. Yeah. But you guys aren't going to be on site until 6:30.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, there's a little size. It's very small.
We're on the move again after waiting.
It's just relax. You literally where it is. You've got probably 400 yards down a dead end sort of track, and you're on
Waiting
the
for
place.
over 12 minutes due to a train in front of us.
And it's just it's all been done. It's all
Once
off-road.
again,
You take
here we are
miles,
at
it's all
Doncaster,
flat.
served by Cross Country East Midlands Railway, LNER, Northern Trans-Pennine Express, Grand Central, Hull Trains and bus services to Doncaster Sheffield Airport.
Yes.
Hello rail fans on platform 3. Platform 3, there was also a Trans-Pennine Express service en route from Cleethorpes to Manchester Piccadilly or Manchester Airport.
Anyway, nice to meet you. Yeah, you take care.
Happy camping anyway.
This is Doncaster.
We are now at Doncaster. Hello, and welcome on board this LNER Azuma to Leeds.
Why is nobody getting off at O? Over there is a far superior train en route to London King's Cross. I believe it's the 11:50 or 11:47 to London King's Cross, calling at Grantham, Stevenage, and London King's Cross. This train is for Leeds, calling at Wakefield Westgate and Leeds. Now I'm going back to my seat for the remainder of the journey.
Sorry.
It's okay. Over in platform 1 is a better train en route to London King's Cross, calling at Grantham, Stevenage and London King's Cross. Once again, formed of 9 carriages. It's not the first time that the
Hello, and welcome on board this LNER Azuma to Leeds. We will call at Wakefield Westgate and Leeds. The next station will be Wakefield Westgate.
CCTV is in operation on this service for your safety and security. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to our onboard team or text British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
You get my message?
Did we get
Don't
one?
say you hear me anything.
Sausage in there.
I have to make it myself.
It's not the first time that they've changed
Written.
the type of train from a Mark IV to an Azuma.
I ain't joking.
First time was back in
When
March.
you come down, you wanted food.
Due to technical problems. Bentley, Northern only.
Please make your way to coach G. Thank you.
Bentley back there is only served by Northern. Now where were we? Oh yeah, Southampton Airport Parkway is served by Cross Country, GWR, Southern and South Western Railway. GWR and Southern have limited service at Southampton Airport Parkway. There's likely to be a bus link between Southampton Airport Parkway and the Southampton Airport itself. All London airports are former RAF bases. That is Adwick, served by Northern only. London City Airport is the only London airport that isn't a former RAF base and was built entirely from scratch in 1987 apparently. Because the infrastructure that they built it on was already shaped like a runway. Castle, Northern only. That there was Fitzwilliam, served by Northern only. Yes, I do have rubbish. Thank you. It's not much, but it does count. Next station will be Wakefield Westgate, our penultimate stop. The advantage of being in this carriage is that you are one of the first to get served. But don't tell them that. An Azuma bound for London King's Cross. Grand Central trains to and from Bradford Interchange leave here. I mean, some Grand Central services, almost all of them, may use that line between Fitzwilliam and Wakefield Kirkgate. use LNER perks through the LNER Android and iOS app.
We will shortly be arriving at Wakefield Westgate.
Our penultimate stop.
If you're leaving us here, please make sure you take all your personal belongings with you.
Sandal and Agbrig, Northern only.
Thank you for travelling with LNER.
These trains will be a great replacement for the Avanti West Coast voyages. On the other side was the Northern service en route from Leeds to Sheffield. I would be lucky if my next journey with Avanti West Coast was on 390-119 or 390-121, because both of those trains have good liveries. 390-119 has this Pride livery and 390-121 has another good livery. Okay. It's okay. This is our penultimate stop, Wakefield Westgate. Served by Cross Country, LNER and Northern.
Hello, and welcome on board this LNER Azuma to Leeds.
Once again, this is our penultimate stop, Wakefield Westgate. This train is for Leeds only.
About Wakefield. I live in Wakefield. Okay, I'll see you soon. Okay.
Seat 9 has a bit of a misaligned window, but should still be good, especially for a 2-hour journey up to Leeds. Seats 14, 17 and 18 in this carriage are if you are travelling with...
Hello, and welcome on board this LNER Azuma to Leeds.
Travelling with someone who is in a wheelchair. Seat 15.
At Leeds only.
Seat
CCTV is in operation on this service for your safety and security. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to our onboard team or text British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sorted.
Seat 15 is also a good seat, similar to this one that I'm in. Wednesday there were strikes on the trams. No service East Croydon to Beckenham Junction, Elmer's End and New Addington, with a reduced service of one tram every 15 minutes between Wimbledon and East Croydon. Actually no service from East Croydon to Elmer's End, Beckenham Junction and New Addington. Just gonna... Outward, only served by Northern.
No, it's not.
I mean, Outward is the only... Northern is the only train operating company serving Outward.
Coming on 8.
Okay, just... getting ready for when the train approaches Leeds. This is the wheelchair bathroom, currently out of order. Hopefully it's fixed on the outbound train back to London King's Cross. Seat 2, Coach L. Seat 2 has a bit of a misaligned window. Oh, there's a dog in that carriage. Only a few LNER services a day call at Reston, which recently opened. Not all trains serve all stations on this map, such as Reston between Newcastle and Edinburgh. The coach letter can always be found on the left of digital displays at coach ends. You'll find a power socket to charge your mobile device or laptop below every seat. You also have USB ports on these trains in first class. Plug sockets only in standard. Seats 5 and 6 are alright in coach L.
We will shortly be arriving at
Leeds.
where
When we finish our journey today.
Please make sure you take all your personal belongings with you.
Leeds is also served by cross country, LNER Northern Transpennine Express, and bus services to Leeds Bradford International
Thank you for
Airport.
travelling with LNER.
There are bus services to Leeds Bradford International Airport every half an hour. That's a cross-country Voyager en route to Penzance or even Plymouth, calling at Wakefield Westgate, Sheffield, Chesterfield, most trains call here, Derby, Burton-on-Trent or Tamworth, Birmingham New Street, Cheltenham Spa, Bristol Parkway, Bristol Temple Meads, Taunton, Tiverton Parkway, Exeter St David's, Newton Abbot, Totnes and Plymouth. Thankfully there's a large luggage storage at the end of this carriage. Please keep clear and don't try to leave the train when the doors are closing. Yeah, with Avanti West Coast they don't let you on the train until boarding begins 20 minutes. At least 20 minutes prior to departure. Some of the lines from Skipton and Bradford Forster Square as we pass Halbeck Junction. Those are actually the Doncaster lines. That there is the 12:15 LNER service to London King's Cross, calling at Doncaster, Grantham, Stevenage and London King's Cross. And apparently it's not calling at Wakefield Westgate today. Or maybe it is calling at Wakefield Westgate, but to pick up only. Those are definitely the lines to Ilkley, Skipton and Bradford Forster Square. We're racing a Northern Class 195 into Leeds. 195111. Hello. There's a Transpennine Express service en route from Newcastle to Liverpool Lime Street or from Redcar Central to Manchester Airport. Hello. Goodbye Northern, see you next time. There's 158756 just sitting outside the station. We're arriving into platform 8, which means doors are opening on the left-hand side of the train. Another Northern service. Sorry. I mean, there's lots of Northern services here. Leeds is served by Cross Country, LNER, Northern Transpennine Express, and bus services to Leeds Bradford International Airport. Then you have a Northern service awaiting departure for Skipton, over on platform 5. Platform 5B. This is Leeds, where we finish our journey today.
Leeds, where we finish our journey today.
If you enjoyed your journey or have any comments, please let us know.
Excuse me, please.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, or visit lner.co.uk.
Coach L seat 58 is missing a window, so avoid the seat at all costs. Coach K. Avoid seat 1 in this carriage while you can, in the first class area of the train. Now here we are where the peasants sit in. And you have lots of amazing legroom here. Time to get out of here because this train terminates here. Seats, these seats over here have a misaligned window or are missing a window. Same with seats 83 and 86 in this carriage. This is Coach J, the quiet coach, or what is the quiet coach? Seats 5 and 3, as well as 11 and 14, have a misaligned window or are missing a window. Same with seats 19 and 22. Seats 31 and 34 also have a misaligned window. Seats 42 and 39 are missing a window. Same with seats 46 and 49. Seat 69 had a good number. Seats 75 and this one over here also missing windows. Same with seats 83 and 86, misaligned windows. This is actually the quiet coach, Coach H. Seats 3 and 6, as well as 14 and 11, misaligned or missing window seats, along with 19 and 22. Seats 39 and 42 as well. And there's a Northern Class 158. I'll let you go past. Oh, sorry, never mind. 75, also missing a window. This is a cafe bar, which is now closed off at the moment because well, seat 1 in this carriage, as well as seats 6 and 3, are missing a window. 14 and 11 are the same. Along with 19 and 22, also 23 and 26. 34 and 31 as well. '59 also, and 67 and 70. 69's not too bad.
It's not ready for boarding yet, pal.
Seats 3 and 6 also missing windows 14 and 11. There's going to be lots of missing or misaligned window seats due to the train structure. And that there is coach B. Lots of indistinct announcements. Excuse me, please. Thank you. And we'll get off at the very front of the train, which is coach A, the northern end of the train. Another terrible seat, 83 and 86. Avoid while you can. And this is coach A. Seats 10 and 7 also terrible. Same with seats 17 and 14. 26 and 29 are the same. Seats 47 and 50, I believe, are also the same. This is Leeds, where the train terminates. Anyways, that's it for today's journey to Leeds. I'll see you next time.